Dogs are constantly testing each relationship in their life, and I don't think owners realize exactly what that means. Even as you do all of this work, your dog's not learning, I will never pull again. They do start realizing though, Does your dog completely ignore one person in the house, yet listen perfectly for another person? Do they drag one member of the family down the street every single walk, yet walk beautifully for someone else? Do they jump all over your husband or your wife, but they would never even think about doing it to you? You're not imagining it. Dogs absolutely behave differently around different people. And once you understand why this happens, you're going to look at your relationship with your dog in a completely different way. As a dog behavior specialist, I see this thing almost every single day with my clients. One person will tell me, my dog doesn't do this ever. And then the other person in the family says, he does it all the time for me. In this scenario, we've got the same dog, but two different owners, so we get different results each time. Why does that happen? Let's talk about it. Before we go any further, please like this video, share with somebody that might have this question, and as always, subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to build a community of as many dog owners as possible, and I want you to be here. All right, so let's talk about it. First things first, dogs don't just have one personality that they apply to every single person in their life. This is one of the biggest misconceptions that I think dog owners have, is that their dog is the same wherever they put them. And that is just so not true. And that's because it's not about personality, it's really about relationships. Your dog absolutely has different relationships with everybody in its life, both dog and human. Dogs evaluate every relationship independently of one another. They learn what rules apply to what people. If you've been following the channel for any bit of time, you probably know about my Cane Corso Booker. I don't even know where to begin with this dog. He is by far the most challenging dog I've ever worked with in my life. Over hundreds of dogs that I've worked with, he is by far the most challenging, but he gets all the credit for turning me into what I am today, which is a very successful dog trainer and dog behavior specialist, helping so many owners every single day at my facility. Booker, even from the moment that I brought him in as a rescue, I got him as a 1-year-old, he was never an easy dog. He came to me with significant leash reactivity towards other dogs on the leash, making walking him as a complete novice, non-dog trainer that I was when I got him, impossible. It was a miserable walk each time. As a 100-pound Cane Corso, he pulled like a freight train. On top of that, he was a resource guarder when we first got him as well, which as a novice, again in the beginning, was not an easy thing to help him through. And as an under-socialized 1-year-old adolescent Cane Corso, he definitely was not welcoming to people and new people coming into his life, such as my guests. And as we worked on overcoming his issues together, something really interesting happened. Booker completely stopped trying those behaviors with me. Not because he became a different dog all of a sudden, but because our relationship together changed. Booker learned through repetitions and repetitions that these behaviors no longer work with Bill anymore. They don't work with Dad anymore. But guess what? He still tried all of those same behaviors, all the ones that we were trying to work through together. He still did all of them for my wife, Patricia. Even as he had made so much progress and was improving with me, he was still pulling for her, still very reactive on the leash for her, would still test her boundaries. And why does that happen? Was that her fault or his fault or what happened? Well, it's pretty simple. Their relationship just hadn't changed yet. This comes down to the fact that dogs are constantly testing each relationship in their life, and I don't think owners realize exactly what that means. Even as you do all of this work, your dog's not learning, I will never pull again. They do start realizing though, I can't pull with this person. So Booker thought, okay, I've realized I cannot pull with Dad any longer. He no longer allows it. He will correct me for it, and he will make sure that I'm walking a certain way. But maybe it still works with Mom. Maybe Mom will still let me bark at all the other dogs. Maybe Mom will still let me test every boundary with her. And if she does, if she allows it, I'm gonna keep doing it because I like it. This is because dogs don't generalize relationships like people do. They learn relationships individually. Okay, be honest. Is your dog able to get away with things with you and not with somebody else? Or is it the other way around? Let me know in the comments. This is where my wife, Patricia, gets a lot of credit from me, and I know a lot of credit from Booker as well. She definitely could have taken the easy way out. You know, a 100-pound Cane Corso is no easy task for anybody, but especially for somebody who didn't really sign up for a dog that is almost as big as her with behavioral issues. It could have been very easy to say, well, yeah, at least he listens to Bill. So many owners do this, and I know that they do. But again, to her credit, she didn't do this. She learned how to communicate effectively with Booker. She followed through on what she was saying. She became clear, predictable, and consistent, and Booker appreciated that like every single dog does. And today, she can do everything that I can do with Booker because she put in the work. She likes to take him to the mall, and he is completely neutral everywhere he goes. He doesn't bark at anybody. He doesn't bark at any dogs. He can see dogs barking at him, and he still is neutral because she put in the work. She can handle him on a day-to-day basis in the house, which he would never let her do in the beginning. She can correct him, and he takes it now. And that's because their relationship changed. It didn't change overnight, but Booker's all of his behaviors that we didn't like, that I got rid of for me, she got rid of for her too because she stayed consistent and she improved their relationship together. Ultimately, dogs are incredible pattern learners. They realize very quickly who means what they say and who is full of shit. I will tell that to everybody all the time, all of my clients. I said it here before. Dogs are so good at figuring out who actually means what they say and who is just blowing smoke. They figure out who follows through, who gives up, who's consistent, who never actually means what they say. Dogs notice every little minor detail. They pick up on these patterns so quickly, and this is what ultimately defines your relationship with your dog. They don't judge us, they just simply learn what works with each person in the house. I'll give you another personal example using my 3 dogs because I think they really are the perfect example for what I'm about to tell you. Because remember, relationships apply to each person or other dog that your dog interacts with every single day. So if you don't know, I've got 3 dogs. I've got Booker, who I told you about, who's a 5-year-old Cane Corso. I've got Bones, who is my 7-year-old English Mastiff. And I've got Bullet, who we call Wooly. He is my 9-year-old Pitty. Bones is my biggest dog. He weighs the most. He's about 130 pounds. Booker is about 100 pounds. And Wooly's about 70 pounds or so. Booker is the youngest dog, Bones is the middle child, and then Wooly is our senior. He's our old man. With this being said, Booker constantly tests Bones' boundaries. Why does that happen? He's the biggest dog in the house. Why does he test him, but he never tests Wooly's boundaries? Examples of this would be if Bones is drinking water and Booker's thirsty, he would probably kind of just nudge him out of the way and start drinking some water. But he would never do that if Wooly was drinking water. If Wooly was drinking water, he would wait his turn, and then he would go. I posted an example of this exact type of scenario on my Instagram a few weeks ago. We had just finished a tub of yogurt, and my wife would go to give Bones a lick of the yogurt when we were done with it out of the tub, and he would be enjoying it, and here comes Booker, and he'd be inserting his face in there to start licking there as if Bones wasn't there. But every single time we gave it to Wooly so that Wooly could eat the yogurt out of the tub, Booker would stand and wait his turn. And that's because Wooly is the king of boundaries, and he's the king of setting firm boundaries, and he did that years ago when we first introduced Booker into the house. Wooly was Mr. Boundary. He would set boundaries on his space. He would set boundaries on when he has things and just to be left alone when he wants to be left alone. And Bones, on the other hand, like I said, he's our biggest softie. He will let everything happen. If he is playing with a toy, Booker will come and take the toy if he wants to, and Bones will just let him. So Booker has learned, okay, you can take advantage of Bones. He's a big softie. Even though he's bigger than you can walk all over him. That's fine. And with Wooly, even though you could, he's older than you, he's more fragile, and he is smaller than you got to respect that guy. He sets boundaries. You got to listen to him. So dogs will do this with people, but they also do with other dogs. Each relationship is judged and analyzed by every dog individually. Just because it does one thing with one dog one way doesn't mean it will do it to the next dog. Same thing with people. Just because it listens to one person in the house doesn't mean automatically it will listen to the other. And don't worry, we never let Booker actually do these things. I advocate for my dogs. I don't let him do these behaviors consistently ever because I want all dogs in my house to feel safe. So in the end, if your dog behaves differently around different people, that is okay, and that is very, very normal. They're not being fake, they're not being manipulative, they're not being on their best behavior. They're just responding to the relationship that they've built with each individual person. That's why one of the most common problems in the dog world happens, where the dog listens to one owner but not the other, This is exactly why that happens. One of the biggest mistakes that dog owners make is assuming that respect from your dog just gets transferred to each person in that dog's life. It doesn't. Relationships are earned individually. Communication is learned individually. Leadership is built individually. The good news? Relationships are not permanent. Just like with humans, they can change. Just like they did for my dog Booker with myself and with my wife Patricia. He didn't become a new dog, he just developed a different relationship with both of us. It's not easy. You have to change your habits, you've got to put in the work, but that is the power of consistency. That's the power of being clear and following through. And that's the power of leadership and building the relationship that your dog actually needs to have with you in order to be their best self. As always, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I want you to be here. I want to be able to help as many dog owners as possible. I'm the Big Dog Guy, and I'll see you in the next one.